Hello, my name is Wes, founder of Westway Fitness, and I'm here today with another book report. The Secret Wisdom of the Kabbalah by J.F.C. Fuller. Okay, hopefully you haven't read this book yet, and if you did, good job, and if you didn't, you might want to scroll and go to the next video because I'm going to get into this book. I highlighted a couple of things that I want to share with you guys that I thought that was intriguing. Things that stood out to me. Not that much, but it's some things in here that stood out and I want to share with you guys. So hopefully it's not a spoiler for you. The secret wisdom of the Kabbalah. That the Israelites will find the promised land in the conquest of the world is a lie which protects a sublime truth, the reabsorption of the world into the pure spirit of God. Within his ordinary understanding, man cannot understand the revelation of mysteries. All that I am about to reveal to you can be revealed only to the masters who know how to keep the balance because they have been initiated. And all matters appears immaterial, lift another curtain, and the immaterial becomes even more spiritual, sublime. As each succeeding curtain is lifted, we are transported to even higher planes of sublimity until the highest is reached. It say lift the curtain. It say as soon as man appeared, all was achieved, both in the upper and in the lower worlds. For all is contained in man. He combines within himself all the forms that exist by the grace of existence of the human form. But we must distinguish between the upper man and the lower man, since one cannot exist without the other. Man is the central point around which all creation revolves. He is the noblest figure of all those that are harnessed to the chariot of God. Evil is not the opposition of good, but the negative side of a positive negative existence called life. When the positive equals or balance the negative, the result is equilibrium. Perfect equilibrium is zero. That is no thing, bliss. It say, which means that this world is the true Bible which can lead us back to God or reality. The union of man with God, says Saint Teresa, is nothing but the reunion of two bodies which have been separated but are always one. For there shall no man see me and live, but my face shall not be seen. They talking about God. In itself, Kether is also the Shekinah, the glory of God. In it is hidden the Shin, W, which symbolize spirit. He who dies without leaving children will not enter within the curtain of heaven and will have no share in the other world. And his soul will not be admitted to the place where all souls are gathered, and his image will be cut off from there. Why? Because he has not succeeded in radiating light in this world by the means of the body. The creation of life is man divine prerogative. Consequently, the sex act is of all acts the holiest, according to the Nobeleth Hakmah. It says, in the spiritual world, this oneness is manifested in the material world when the male is united to the female in a righteous purpose. Unity, oneness. For it is though the union of bodies and soul that perfect unity is attained. The experimental world We are told again and again in the Zohar that experimental worlds had existed and had been destroyed on account of their imperfections. Moses failed to open the fifth of these gates. Had he done so, he would have become the Messiah of Israel. When the Messiah does come, the Sabbatic millenary will be accomplished. All Israel will be blessed and will become one nation in the Lord. That is to say, this world will be inhabited solely by the chosen people. In order to understand this, we will repeat it again. Good is a means of balance out evil, dark and light, duality. And evil, a means of balancing out good. Neither is desirable in itself except in the material world, which cannot exist without them equally. The spiritual world cannot be entered as long as they exist. Consequently, their adverseness is purely relative to the spiritual world. Further on in this book, we will show that the power of using either is drawn from the same source: Shin, Shekinah, astral light, ether, electricity. Reestablish the Shin in the body of Tetragrammaton and formulate the Messiah, the incarnate world, which when disincarnated caused the Asiatic world to be. The danger was that this philosophy not only harmonized good and evil, but maintained that all goodness proceeds from evil. Mystically, this means a return of man to God, but by the ignorant, it might easily be interpreted as meaning the doing of evil for the sake of spiritual gain. That don't even sound right. When we look at the position of this letter and remember the significance of those on its right and left, we at once notice how abnormal its place is. Its place is on the left. Is its natural partner, the first he or daughter, its wedded wife. On the right is the mother, now widowed because she is separate from the OD, yet forced into an unnatural union with her son. She is ever striving to reunite with the OD, and consequently Eve is tempted to eat of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For God don't know that the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Why not white magic? Because the Son of God, the above, came down to the daughters of men, the below, that is light, is absorbed by darkness. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes, the Christian idea of the Son of God descending from heaven to save the world, is in fact the Kabbalistic idea upside down. For all men are, according to the Hebrews, all the chosen people are sons of God, particles of divinity, atoms of spirit, and when all these atoms unite in one spiritual ecstasy, the Messiah is born, for he is the integration of the totality of spirit in mankind. Whenever we turn, we come up against a threefold order within man in the form of the physical, moral, and intellectual sphere of his activities between men, and that of justice, culture, and work between man and the universe, and between man and God. Between everything, nothing in this world is single. Not even a thought is single. All things and all thoughts are relative. That is, they are the offspring of a relationship of an above and of a below. The universe appears to have been designed by a pure mathematician. If the universe is really four-dimensional, and certainly it appears to be so, then we are living not on a sphere but on a but on the skin of a hypersphere, which we can only explain by means of mathematical symbols. God is light. What then is mind? Mind, we hazard to answer, is the transmutation of light into thought. That is of spirit into reason. Light is consequently the conductor between divinity and humanity, between God and man. There is the divine thought, there is light. Lastly, there is human thought, such as the first great psychic or mystical revolution. There's some more cool pictures. Some of y'all might know about these pictures. I'm just going through the book real quick because I don't want to hold y'all all day. This is like a brief book review. Should X set out to explain them, to do so, he must fall back on his G knowledge and education. Consequently, his symbols will depend on the relationship between the brilliance he has experienced in J and the balance of knowledge he has established in G, his normal life. The more ignorant he is and the more unbalanced he is, the cruder and more unbalanced will his symbol be. He can only build the symbolic temple out of the bricks of his three-dimensional knowledge, and if his mind is of mud and not of clay, then his symbol will be of mud and will never become bricks. The more ignorant he is, that is, the less illumined he is in the space world, the darker will be his symbol. Consequently, should Y be equally ignorant and totally unacquainted with the J vision, and should X force his symbol upon Y, for in spite of his ignorance, his experience has endowed him with all the fervor of authority. He will so obsess Y that in place of exalting him to the superconscious state, he will destroy his conscious state and plunge him into a infraconscious state. He will plunge him into the QLIPHOTH quotation hell, in which he sees Satan rob in the glory of God. Y will experience a vision of the devil, the essence of the unbalanced animal, Nepish, and he will be turned upside down. Such is the diagnosis of a would-be white magician creating unconsciously a black magical world. We must jettison, Jettison. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I spelled it. The symbolic language of the master, and having swept clean our minds of the dogmas, rituals, and canons of the churches, we must diligently search for that secret process whereby Helat can be transformed into a Hierophant, not magically, but spiritually. This indeed is the one and hidden problem of divine alchemy. Overall, it was a cool book, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't long at all. I finished it in a couple days, and now you can have the tea in less than 30 minutes. So do as you please with this little bit of information. Thank me later. Y'all stay blessed.